Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Outer Rim Cantina. My name's Alan, and today I am here to talk a little bit about the newest Star Wars film rumor surrounding Dave Filoni's upcoming Star Wars movie that was just announced back in April at Star Wars Celebration. So, we don't know anything specific about the plot as of yet, other than it is probably going to be somewhat of a continuation of the upcoming Ahsoka series, as well as kind of the culmination of all of the Star Wars Disney Plus shows that we've gotten so far. So, The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and Skeleton Crew. But as far as plot details, we still don't really have anything. What we do have, however, is a new rumor stating the name of the film. Now, this is still several years out. I don't think that Filoni's film will be the one in 2025. I think that's going to be the new Jedi Order movie, but Dave Filoni's film will be coming probably 2027, around then. So I'm saying all of that just to say that we should probably take this rumor of a title with a grain of salt, like a really gigantic grain of salt, like a crate-sized grain of salt, because lots of stuff can change between now and then. This could just be like a code name for the project. Lots of things could change between now and when we actually sit down in the theater to see this movie. But as of right now, the rumor is that Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie will be titled Heir to the Empire. Now, for a lot of Star Wars fans, that sounds really cool, because that is a reference to the Timothy Zahn trilogy of Star Wars books released in the 90s that were kind of the original sequel trilogy. That was like the main Star Wars content that existed after the original trilogy and before the prequels, and it had a lot of great stuff. The Heir to the Empire trilogy is, like, it's genuinely one of the best book trilogies of all time, some of the best sci-fi novels of all time, and it is just, in general, really good Star Wars and constantly gets praised by pretty much every Star Wars fan on the planet. So, naming the film Heir to the Empire kind of makes a whole lot of sense, especially after seeing that first trailer for the Ahsoka series, where she literally says,
I started hearing whispers about Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
So there is kind of some precedent for this film being titled Heir to the Empire. The other side, the flip side to this, is the debate around whether or not Dave Filoni's film will be something new, an original story, just using the title of Heir to the Empire and maybe a few of the story elements from the series, and obviously Thrawn himself, who is going to show up in Ahsoka, but his story will probably conclude in this Dave Filoni film. So, is it going to be original, or is it just going to be some sort of adaptation of Heir to the Empire? Because until now, I was kind of under the impression that Ahsoka, the series, was going to be Dave Filoni's own original thing. It was going to do some new stuff. It was just going to use Thrawn and act as a Rebels sequel series with the Ghost crew coming back in live action. But now, with this rumor of the title, I'm kind of like, well, are they doing that, or are they going to try and adapt the Heir to the Empire story? And they could do both, but it would be kind of weird if they did some sort of adaptation, because up until now, Lucasfilm hasn't expressed any interest in doing any kind of either direct or indirect adaptations of any of the old Expanded Universe material, now branded Legends. They've kind of shied away from that. All they've really done is take elements from these stories, so certain character names, planets, ships, little things like that, and putting them into canon, not actually doing like a straight one-for-one adaptation of some of the most popular Expanded Universe stories. But if the film is titled Heir to the Empire, there is the possibility that we will see some kind of adaptation of Timothy Zahn's book trilogy, or at least the first book. And if that's the case, I'm just really not interested. Like, I personally would prefer them to just leave all of the expanded universe stuff alone. It had its time to shine. It was the definitive Star Wars content for many, many, many years, pretty much up until Star Wars The Clone Wars. Like, that was the definitive Star Wars. But it's not anymore. We have all of this other content that is now canon, and all these characters and stories and everything. And I feel like the path that they've been going down with kind of leaving the expanded universe or legends alone, letting it just exist on its own, and, you know, people can still read those stories. I mean, they're reprinting a bunch of the best Legends books for brand new collectors to own and read and experience for the first time. So it would just be kind of weird if they suddenly backpedaled and did, like, a direct Heir to the Empire adaptation of some sort. So I really hope that's not the case. I would really just rather Dave Filoni do his own thing, let it be his own baby, and just kind of see what he can do with it, and just kind of go wild with a brand new Thrawn story. And obviously, I mean, Timothy Zahn himself has written new Thrawn content since the original Thrawn trilogy. He's written 2 brand new canon Thrawn trilogies to kind of tie into his appearance in the Star Wars Rebels series a bit more. So there's plenty of canon Thrawn content to go off of and build new stories around, rather than relying on all of the Legends content. So I really hope that's the case. I really want new stuff. Star Wars is best when it's new, when it's original, when it's goofy, when it's doing unique things. That is when Star Wars shines. And just doing some kind of adaptation of something, of some really old book series, kind of goes against literally all of that. But in addition to that, it also opens a very scary door for me and a lot of other people, because if they do an Heir to the Empire adaptation, then there is a large chance we will see the original trilogy cast, at least the main trio, Han, Luke, Leia, maybe Lando, Wedge, other people. And with the way Lucasfilm has handled the original characters thus far, it doesn't make me excited to see them in another movie, because they wouldn't be actors. They would just be deep-faked, computer-generated, artificial things meant to evoke some nostalgia in a bunch of really old nerds, rather than getting actual actors to fill these iconic roles and breathe new life into these characters, like Alden Ehrenreich and Donald Glover did with Han and Lando in the Solo movie. That was great. I wish Lucasfilm would do more of that, instead of just these AI deepfake generated things that they've given us in these Disney Plus series, like The Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian. Like, if I go into the theater to watch Dave Filoni's Heir to the Empire film, and I see a deep-faked Han, Luke, and Leia, I'll actually just walk out of the theater. Like, that will be my breaking point, if they do that instead of giving us actual people to embody these characters. But again, the movie is still many, many years off, so all of this is just speculation. But like I said, hopefully we actually get original stuff. I mean, if the movie is titled Heir to the Empire, I won't really have a problem with that. I will, just see it as a nice homage to like I said, the original sequel trilogy, if you will. But I really hope for the most part that the actual content of the movie isn't basing itself too much on that original Thrawn trilogy, and they actually just do some new original things with these characters. And on the off chance that we do get some sort of near direct adaptation of the Thrawn trilogy, I hope it's with the Ghost crew from Star Wars Rebels and not the original trilogy crew, just to add some variation and some uniqueness to it, and again, to avoid any of those deep-faked, horror, nightmare-inducing amalgamations of characters. But as always, I would love to know what you think of this new rumor. What do you want to see in Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie or anything like that down there in the comments. That's all the time I've got for today. If you want even more daily Outer Rim Cantina content, you can follow me on Twitter at Outer Rim Can and Instagram at Outer Rim Cantina. All of my social medias are linked down there in the description of the video. Just go to that link tree and you will have access to everything Outer Rim Cantina. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like, as those really do help the YouTube algorithm. And as always, I hope to see you back here in the Cantina next time for another Star Wars video. Until then, may the Force be with you.